Okay, today we are going to actually implement a name pipe. Well, name pipe is a method of inter-process communication, or IPC. Basically, you define a file like meet point between two processes so that they can communicate through that file descriptor in Unix like operating systems. Of course, you can see these kind of name pipes in other operating systems also. Basically, why we are using this, just to make sure that we don't actually create any overhead for the system by using socket programming or sending our data through the network or even our local host. So it's easy. You can create that file descriptor, you can create this file like way of communication, and then use that to send and receive data from other processes. So to do so, let's create a folder. So these files, we implemented it our previous episodes, and also we implemented the CMake file. Let's call it name pipe, and perfect. So I explained it in the previous episode, so you are creating actually this line here is to make sure that if you include this header in multiple or in recursive way, you don't get any error. You can use this or use the pragma ones. It depends on your preference. Usually this is the standard way of doing that. Perfect. So let's include the library that we want. Well, we are using C++, so no need to. Perfect. Awesome. And also we need to include our core, because we want to use what we implemented as abstract class for our IPC methods. Since we want to use the file system method, it's better you simplify it. It's not necessary, but it makes your life easier to do so. Perfect. So now let's go inherit from the our abstract class that we made in our previous it was abstract IPC, I think, here. Now, as I explained before, I prefer to define my class field at the beginning of the class definition. It's just some people do it as in like some people do it at the end of the class, but it's really up to you. Now I need to define where I want to actually make these pipe files, and this one is just for creating what we need, and we make it as we actually didn't initialize it. Perfect. So as you guys know, first we need to the first one, okay, let's open it just to make sure that we are not doing some, yeah, title and mode. So we have the title, let's call it name here. We need to determine what mode this class gonna work in what mode, and then you have the sorry, perfect. Now let's do the initialization of the constructor. We move it just to make sure we don't like constantly copying the string file left and right when we want to initialize different things. And then we also need to initialize the container size that we define with the variables we are getting from the you don't need to announce the empty body one, but I do it usually. Perfect. Yeah. Let's implement it here. I wanted to implement it later, but let's do it here. Why not? So basically, we want to make the pipeline, ensure that everything is okay. So in our CMake file, in our CMake file, we defined a folder or directory that we want our name pipe be stored in, and we initialize it as for var and lot. Yeah. So let's do that. So basically, I usually prefer to use for bigger project or for more complex project, I prefer to use C-line from JetBrains. It's not that you cannot implement bigger projects with VS Code. It's just it makes your life easier when you are using the C-line for these kind of projects. But you can perfectly use this one as you wish. Yeah. Just wait a minute. Path. Perfect. So we have the directory, we have the pipe path. Now we want to merge these two together and create it. This because this one makes a problem. Yeah. It could be better like this. And then you go and do the pipe map. So basically, I have the file, the name, I have the directory, and I just create the location and merge these two together. Okay, we have this, and now let's override the methods that we want in order to initialize, terminate, write any data or get any data from the pipe. So let's copy these lines. Perfect. Yeah, you just need to add the override keyword here to announce that these methods are the override from the original method from inside the abstract class. So you have all of that. So our class is ready for implementing the methods. As you can see, what we did is we implement these by mistake inside the CPP file. Now we need to implement the CPP file. Oh, come on. Yeah, my keyboard is not in a good place. Let me fix that. Perfect. Yeah. Now we need to include the headers that we know we are going to use in this one, the units DD, and then what else? SCIO, and yeah. Okay. Let's put this here. We need to implement this one. Okay, so in this method, we want to initialize the class in order to act as the mediator for creating, initializing, terminating, reading, writing from an API. To do so, first I need to know what end of this piping we are. So I mean, is it a server that using this class or it's a client? So if it's a server, we need to add the writing privilege. We need to initialize the pipe and let this code actually make the file. I don't know whether you are hearing this or not, but there was a sound of emergency response team that passed just from front of our house. So we pass the, okay, so here if I leave it like this, you will receive an error because make FIFO is a low level API and it works with C-like data type string type. So you need to actually do something about it. The string, the C++ string has a method called C_str, which give you, see, it give you what you need, and then you need to define the access flags for your FIFO, and which are very straightforward. I don't need to explain it. We just need to make sure that the creation of the pipe was successful or not. Yeah. These macros are the macros that we define in our first episode just to make our life easier. Perfect. And now we just need to open the FIFO just to make sure it's initialized. Yeah, perfect. So for opening this, we need to define whether it needs write access or read access. To do so, I'm going to use an inline condition, and then we can say whether it's write only or read only. Great. Well, I prefer to do it multiple lines, but here. Yeah. Next one would be terminate. Okay, for implementing the the method for termination of this class, we just need to close the pipe and get rid of everything, any resource that we may use during this process. Yeah, and if it's a server, we need to remove the name pipe just to make sure if we want to open it again later, we don't face any error that, okay, this file exists. Perfect. And great. Now let's go implement the update method. So update method is for when you want to write something on the pipe file. So it's basically you just need to write it, and then define what pass the data, and also you need to determine what is the size of this data that you want to actually write. Why we don't get the size of data from user and then use that here is because when you want to write something, you need to read it from the other end, and you need to make sure that you know how many bytes you need to read. So it's better you have some protocol to predefine how many bytes you want to write and how many bytes you need to read later. Perfect. Now let's implement the read method, or get the data from the other end. This one is for client, so you don't need to check if you want to check the IPC mode. Also for the update method is the same as this one. Again, you can use auto here. I didn't use it, so yeah. Perfect. So everything is ready.